I mean, I couldn't even walk. I was crawling. I remember vividly this cliffside. In these cliffs were carved a crucifix, a giant Christ figure with the head and the face of Johnny Depp. Well, this story's from another time and another world and another life. It was back when I was out working in Wyoming. And every year in the dead of winter, sometimes 1 month, sometimes 2 months, it was an alternating schedule. We would go down to Cheyenne and we would be covering the legislature in a weekly program, kind of recapping what happened that week. Where the state leaders would talk and vote and debate on different laws and budgets and basically determine the future of the state, which was kind of interesting, and the way things are anymore with the coal business is kind of going down and energy in general, and that's kind of all of Wyoming's eggs are right in this basket, and it's all coal and energy, and it's kind of an uncertain future for them. So it's interesting to see what they're doing and how they're working around all this new world, And every year we would stay at the Plains Hotel, a historic old railroad hotel, been there forever, and beautiful hotel. You walk into it, kind of feel like you've gone back in time. Right next to all these different restaurants. It was just an awesome place. You could walk to the green door. It was just perfect. And The caveat, though, was that this place was old. It was very unique and old and had a lot of charm, as I put it. It was I guess you never knew what was going to be wrong in your room. It could be that the faucet on the sink was effed up or, the air conditioner didn't work. You never knew what was going to be messed up in your room, which to me was kind of the fun of it. You're going to be miserable down there. You might as well have a laugh out of what's going on in your room. And supposedly this place is haunted. I don't really remember the story. You can look it up online if you want to really find the true story. But it was something like there was a newlywed couple out on their honeymoon staying at the Plains. And the husband was probably going down at the bar drinking and found himself a little hussy there, little buffalo gal, and the wife, she didn't want any of that. So when he got back up to his room, she shot him, killed him, and in this room, it's still there. I think it's on the 4th floor. You can look in the window, and the window still has bullet holes where the bullets penetrated the wall. And I think the lady jumped out of the window in grief. Suicide, and now her spirit haunts this old railroad town hotel, and that was our home for up to 2 months of the year in cold, dark winter. And something else that was really cool about this place was I probably shouldn't say it, but I guess nobody ever in Wyoming is going to see this, but there's a staircase that you can get to. I think it's only on the 3rd or 4th floor that it's open, but walk into this dark staircase and you look down and it's just this drop, and you could look down through the floors and there's the basement of this place. One of the cool things that we did was we would sneak down there at night, or we tried to, and it was like who's going to chicken out and all that. I went down there a few times, and you got to do it at night, because it adds to the whole thing. And if you want to really get into it, you have some Colorado medicine, and it makes it really intense. And you get down there, and it's just this dark, dank cellar basement kind of thing that just twists. And their laundry's down there, so you're always worried about, am I going to bump into an employee? The later you go, the less you got to worry about it. But it's always in the back of your mind. And it was dark, and it was scary, and I love the old Silent Hill games, and it reminded me of that. It gave me that feeling. And it was just so awesome trying to get down there and The goal was to find the tunnels, which the rumor has it that there were tunnels in Cheyenne that were developed to go from the hotel to the Capitol building to different places in town. And I'm always trying to find the tunnels. If it's St. Louis tunnels or Wyoming tunnels, I'm always trying to find the tunnels, and never found them down there. Apparently they were, locked up and sealed, but I did find some pretty cool artifacts down there just sitting for God knows how many decades and forgotten about. So never found anything tunnel-wise, but just a really cool experience down there. But that's not the story I'm trying to tell here. The story is, one night I went to bed and I was visited by the spirit of that poor woman that had jumped to her death after murdering her newly wedded husband. I went to bed and I remember these dreams that were so vivid. They were so intense, like fevered dreams. I was flying over these beautiful bluffs, these giant cliffs in front of this wide open ocean. And on these cliffs was a crucifix. It was a Christ figure on this, on these bluffs, carved into the side of the mountain. And on this crucifix's head, instead of the regular Jesus head, was Johnny Depp, which was very bizarre and was very weird. So I'm flying around in these idyllic scenes with Jesus, Johnny Depp figures everywhere. And I wake up in the middle of the night and I've got this splitting headache, like this migraine. I've never had a migraine this bad before. I've had bad ones, but this was, I couldn't even hardly walk. I had to throw up and I was crawling to the bathroom and got in there and jumped into the shower and just kind of laid on the floor getting water on me just to kind of wake myself up and get out of this state I was in. After a while, I got back up, dried off, and went back to bed. And I opened the window there by the bedside because I love that cold, dry mountain air. It makes you feel better no matter what you got. So I opened that window and I went back to sleep. And I want to say I was in the haunted room. The layout in my head is the same as the one that was the haunted room. So this lady had it out for me. Woke up the next day and never, I felt fine, I think. I went to breakfast and then I came back to the hotel to get ready for the day of work. And outside of that hotel was ambulances and fire trucks. I said, what the hell's going on? There's people filing out of the building. I walk up and there is Gog, our host of the program we were doing every week for the PBS. I said, what's going on? And he said they're evacuating the building. And for the reason you probably have guessed by now, for carbon monoxide poisoning. There was a leak in the building, which, made my dreams make perfect sense now. It's probably 1 foot in the grave, 1 foot on a banana peel, up laying in bed, sweating and dying. And, I don't think there were any casualties that night or deaths, but I went later after they let people back in. I said, well, what, don't you guys have some detectors, And the lady at the front desk just kind of shrugged. So, the charm of the old Plains Hotel was finally too much for me, and I started staying elsewhere with the rest of the crew. I got to believe that opening that window was a lifesaver, or at least saved some brain cells. I can't count for all of them, but I may have saved a few of them that night just opening that window. Still, I still like the hotel, and I think it's changed ownership and has been redone, so I don't want to dissuade anybody from going there because it is a very cool, historic kind of a landmark building, and had a lot of good memories there, and one night that was a bad night. So, there you have it. A little Wyoming story for you. Uh-oh. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're out there making your own stories. Because you only got one life, and you got to make it count. Have a good one.